Hello everyone, welcome to the second video in our series Everything You Need to Know About the Immortals. In today's video, we are diving into the stories and abilities of the immortal Himiko. Who is Himiko? Himiko is a semi-legendary figure in Japanese history, believed to have been a shaman queen of the ancient Yamatai kingdom during the 3rd century, often depicted as a powerful and mysterious leader who communicated with the gods. Himiko is revered as one of Japan's earliest and most significant female rulers. Now that we know a little bit about the background of Himiko, let's take a look at her stats and her skills in game. As you see on the screen, the detailed attributes, keep in mind these stats are maxed out, almost maxed out in 100%. The only thing that is not maxed out here is the portrait. My portrait is level 40 for Himiko, and this is what the stats you can see. I do have VIP 15, I do have maxed out technology for archers or backliners. So these are the skills that you are going to have when you have a maxed out or at this stage where I am. Keep in mind this is not with the artifact. With the artifact it might be different, but this is raw Himiko attributes. As you can see, the highlight of the stats might be the magical attack. Keep in mind that, as I said, portrait is level 40, so you get around like 800 to 900 more magical attack than you normally use if you don't have level 1 portraits. So you have 7,000, almost 7,000, 6,797.6 magical attack, which is super good, super high. I think if you're gonna compare with other mages, it's one of the strongest and highest magical attack in this game. Also, another one that I want to highlight is the critical hit. I think her critical hit is really good as well. If I'm not mistaken, she is around at least top 2 or top 3 in this game when it comes to crit on a mage as well. So she's really good. And now we're gonna take a look at the skills. Demon Ambush. I think Demon Ambush is really strong skill. So you can put her as utility or the main damage dealer, that's up to you, but its skill is like inflict that magical damage rate 450% at level 8 to all enemies units. If the number of targets is more than 2%, the enormous energy will rip open the space and pulls the immortal back row or one immortal back row unit with the highest troop numbers into the void. While in the void, enemies cannot attack or use spells, nor be targeted by any normal attacks or spells for 6 seconds. I'm gonna show you guys in a video later how the skills works, and for me I think this skill is very OP, and you can see a lot of people are using her because of the skills. Now let's talk about the Himiko artifacts. Himiko artifacts is very interesting because you have 30% increased damage as the passive of the artifact, and then you have deadly and annihilation. Which one is better? It really depends on your team build. In the full shadow, I think the crit with annihilation is better than the deadly, but in the long term, maybe like late game, where you're probably gonna find Himiko real often, or or lightning Himiko, you're probably gonna get deadly and magical attack percentage. I think that, in my opinion, that is better because I don't think you're gonna crit a lot against an Earth Himiko team because of Charles, and then enemy probably running something alongside of Malice, increased like Malice and stuff like that with the talent. So in my opinion, in the late game, I would go for deadly magical attack percentage, but in the early game, if I do have advantage of having VIP 30 and above really fast, crit rate with Annihilation would be a lot better than the Deadly, but it equalized a little bit more and become a little bit like I think the Deadly will have advantage during the late game when everybody has, you know, extra percentage, sorry, extra stats from the VIP 15, maxed out technology and stuff like that. I think Deadly become better. Now let's take a look at the skills that I think can benefit Himiko very well. So you can see here there are one aura skill, Berserk, you have Purifications, you have Energy Shield, and you might think like, why do I have these skills there? The reason why I have this skill there is because in the Earth, Himiko, March, in that situation, when she becomes like a utility second damage dealer in your team, I think it fits her like setup really well. You kind of have like small healing, you have shield on her and the purification to purify all the abnormalities and debuff on her or your allies. It really depends on what kind of build you take, but in my opinion this is also very strong build, like survivability build. But if you want to go for more damage build and she becomes your damage dealer, I think you can have Armageddon. But Armageddon is also very situational where you have to have a tank team, like an Charles and Yishan Shin team, maybe like Earth, Himiko, Theodora, but you use Yishan Shin and Charles in the front. I think Armageddon is a must-have. I think it's a very good skill, and I think also Corsi power can be really, really strong in her. And I think our good combo from this setup might be Corsi power, Psionic Tide, maybe Chaos Storms, or Abundant Spirit. It really depends how you want to build her up. I think this setup where she boosts her energy regen to become like really, really fast, I think that can be something really good for the future. I'm definitely gonna try it out and I'm gonna make a video about it when I do obtain skills. But yeah, that's a little bit about the skills on Himiko. As you can see, it might be situational. Some people might use Fighting Master in order for her not to get stunned. That's totally fair. You can also use that, but in my opinion, that is situational. When you become a late game, you have a certain immortals, you don't really need to use Fighting Master anymore. So yeah. Now let's take a look at the battles I recorded for this video. Both teams are pretty much the same team. I do have Theodora and she has Zenobia, but I think as you can see on the screen, my Himiko is doing some decent support damage to their team. My Alex is missing a lot of health early on, but you know, with the Theodora, I think it comes much better. And as you see on the screen, Himiko is barely doing 10 million damage because in my build, she is kind of secondary supportive damage dealer next to Alex, which is my main damage dealer. And on the bottom right, you can see the skills I use as well. So only theme I try here is to survive as long as possible. Yeah, that's a little bit about Himiko for this video. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed making it, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.